Now that I've got the door cut out, I just want to make sure that I've got everything cut out right and everything looks pretty smooth. The next thing I want to do is some of these marks that I have on this template is I want to transfer them to the sides of the workpiece, the sides of the plywood, just so it will help me when I'm drawing out all of the cabinets and drawers and countertops and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I've got everything marked, pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and take the clamps off, take off the template, and then I need to flip over this middle section. The reason I need to do that is so I just keep straight in my mind which side the cabinets go on, because I'm going to be marking for those as well. Okay, so I'm going to go get some lunch. Okay, I'm back from lunch. While I was at lunch, the UPS man brought me a very cool presents. So I ordered some windows, and they came in today. So here's the windows. I'm going to show you how they fit in the door. Or at least how I think they're going to fit in the door. Something like that. This right here is a door latch. This would actually be on the inside of the door, but this gives me an idea of spacing here. Something like that. There's the handle that goes outside. And this is a porch light. So, and that'll go up here somewhere. Like that. So, to give you an idea what that looks like, there you go. These hinges. So, alright, cool. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is to mark this out, draw in all of my shelves and cabinets and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. What I'm going to use here as a big square is just a piece of plywood scrap. That seems to have pretty square edges. This is off of my original template. I think this pencil's just about had it. Okay, I think that's the last mark. So I think I'm going to retire this pencil. Actually, it's still a little bit sharp, so I'll use it one more time. Okay, the next thing I've got to make is I've got to make I've got to draw in where the spars are going to go. The spars are the part that go from, put the sides straight up, and then they are 1x2s that are glued together that then go crossways and hold the sides vertical. And they also provide support for the roof when I put the roof on. So I'm going to go ahead and make those marks now. And I'm making these where I have marked on the side of the plywood. Remember, I went around and took my pattern and marked on the side of the plywood. So that's 1x2. And that's where the other one will go. So it's a mark like that. I do this all the way around the pattern. Okay, I'm done marking for the cabinets. This is what it looks like, all marked out. So this is a countertop. This is a cabinet underneath the countertop. And this is a little shelf here. And this is another cabinet that sits up here. And then the little shelf right here, there'll be a lip right here that'll hold stuff onto it. And then this cabinet right here is inside. And then this is all living area right here. Make sense? Now there are a couple more marks that I'm going to have to make on here as well. One of the things that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut, let's see, I had this all figured out, 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches off of the bottom of my pattern, or off the bottom of this board here. The reason is that I'm going to build a floor system, and the floor system is 1.5 inches thick, and then this sits on top of the floor system and screws in and glues to it. The other thing I'm going to have to do is mark out around the curved part here, and I will actually be cutting that all out. Now that'll go in more detail here in a little while, but I'll be cutting all of that out, so I will go ahead and make those marks as well. Okay, now that I've marked out all the cabinets and marked out some of the other cut lines, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other side, which I made yesterday, I'm going to put it on top of this one, and I'm going to trace out where I'm going to make the cutouts for the lightning holes where I put the insulation. So I'm going to do that. This thing's a little bit heavy, so even with the holes cut out of it, it's probably still 35, maybe 40 pounds, something like that. So I get this all lined up, clamped down. I'll probably make a pass around it with the router, just to make sure they're exactly the same shape. That's going to be very important when I start putting this thing together. Okay, I got all that stuff cleaned up, so now I'll just take the clamps off. and pull this other frame off. And I don't know whether you can see that, but now I've got all of these other lines on here, and these are the parts that I'm going to cut out. Alright, I'm going to cut these out with a jigsaw, so I'll get that set up. First thing I have to do is I have to drill holes in all the corners of all my boxes so I can get the jigsaw in there. Also, I don't have to be real precise on this. All of this stuff is going to be covered with skins, so it's going to have the birch plywood on the inside, it's going to have the fir plywood, and then ultimately aluminum on the outside. So, but I'll try and be as precise as I can. So. But like I said, this MDO is really tough stuff. And now for the jigsaw. Also, got a couple pieces of wood here that I'll slide under here as I make my cuts. They'll keep these panels from going crazy as I get close to the edges. Okay, that's the last panel. Got to trim up, clean up just a couple little things, and this side is pretty much done with the exception of cutting out these roof supports here and cutting on the bottom. But I'll probably do the bottom by clamping these two sides together and do them at the same time, so I'll make sure that that they're exactly the same. And then the roof supports are going to be interesting, but I'm going to leave that for another day.